Seth Jarvis. All right, so we are officially into where do you think this guy's going to go territory with the draft. Because, boy howdy, are there huge diverging opinions on Seth Jarvis. So I thought, well, we're Columbus. At this point, I don't even know or care where teams are going to be drafting. Just like, all right, well, he's 5'10", 172 pounds, projects to be a pretty good forward, probably going to be able to put the puck in the net. He's a hard worker. Sure, Columbus. Why not? So, yeah. And the interesting thing is just how divergent these opinions are. He's number 7 on Hockey Prospects' latest list. Huge riser on their list. And number 29 on the ISS rankings. Yep. Number 11 on Central Scouting's North American Skaters list. Number 13 on Elite Prospects. And number 18 on Bob McKenzie's list. Yep. We're really into the where's this guy going to go? And to show the diverging opinions, there are some saying I don't see it. I don't think he's that great. Although a lot of those scouting reports I saw were before the second half of this season. And there's one saying he's in my top 6, and another one saying he'll probably go in the early 20s of the draft. No idea. None. And then when you're looking at the skill set, his strengths, the defensive and offensive game are equal. His agility and his speed is talked about as being the best, but honestly, there's like 8 different things that were all ranked kind of the same with him. So every part of his game is kind of pretty good, and the stats are pretty good. Advanced stats are pretty good. He does very well. Those whole per 60-minute stats when you're looking at, he projects a lot more goals than you'd think he would score per 60 minutes on the ice. He just sounds like a solid player. And the reason that he's jumped up in Hockey Prospects list is simple. He is not an elite level talent like a Lafreniere or a Byfield, but he's a very hardworking player. And there was one scouting report that said the game I watched him in, he almost won it all by himself. So he thinks the game very well. He's got a very high IQ on the ice, and his compete level is causing scouts to say, you know what, this kid's going to be pretty good. So he again might be one of these guys who doesn't wow you with the explosive talent. And at 5'10", 172 pounds, that's another reason you could see him drop. If teams look at him and go, well, he's a little bit small, they may very well move on to somebody else who may have the same talent level, but may be larger. And so Seth Jarvis might be one of those guys who ends up sliding a little bit further in the draft than we expect. He might get taken earlier than we expect. I'm looking forward to the draft. We now know it'll be in October. We just don't know when in October it's going to be. So it's going to be about 4 months from now. So I have time to do almost everybody in the draft class. And I have no problem with doing videos. Because I was thinking about it. I'm thinking, as I get through these draft picks, you're going to see a drop in the number of views likely for a lot of these players. But after the draft, people are going to be going, oh, who did we draft? And there'll be a video there for them. So the interesting thing, too, is that when you get into the later draft picks, sure, there's less of a chance they make it. But boy, wouldn't it be interesting to look back on a 7th-round draft pick and go, wow, I actually made a video on a 7th-round draft pick that did turn out. Now, Seth Jarvis won't be that guy, but he's going to be could he be top 10? Could he be in the early 20s? I don't know. So I thought, well, we don't know where Columbus is going to draft. Columbus is final where Columbus. Now, he's been playing for the Portland Winterhawks over the last couple of seasons. 2018, 2019, 61 games, 16 goals, 23 assists, 39 points. This season, absolutely explosive. The first 20 games he played, he had, I think, 24 points. And then it exploded for him. 58 games played by the end of the season. 42 goals, 56 assists, 98 points. And his mechanics in terms of his shot would lead you to think he probably scored about 25 goals at the CHL level. And instead he scored 42. So again, that's through hard work. That's through good shot selection. His shooting percentage was pretty darn high. And so, yeah, that strong second half of the season drove him up the rankings for Hockey Prospect. Now, maybe with ISS, maybe they're lagging behind. Maybe International Scouting Services, maybe their overall reports were done early, and therefore, if International Scouting Services were to reorder things, maybe he'd move up on their list as well, because that clearly would be dragging down the average. He's elite at the junior level, and from all the reports, it sounds like he should be a top 6 forward in the NHL. He absolutely should be, and he should be a scoring forward. He may very well be that guy who's not as big as the rest of the players on the ice, but he works harder than everybody else, and he puts up goals where you don't expect him. So Jarvis may be one of those boomer bust guys because, again, being smaller, he may not fit very well in that bottom six role. So he may need top 6 minutes in order to succeed and flourish. And we'll see. We'll see how that goes for him. So, yeah, Seth Jarvis. And I know there are people excited about him. I know there are people that are like, this kid's going to be the steal of the draft. There are also people saying, I don't know. He's not really my cup of tea. And that's why this draft is going to be really, really interesting. Because there are a lot of guys who have the hype. And we have no idea where they could go in the draft. Because, again, 7 to 29 right here. That's as wide a swath as you're going to see. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I'll talk to you again soon.